Hey guys, I'm Simon. I'm going to be rebuilding this 1968 BSA B25 Starfire over winter. Recently picked it up. It was bought from a friend of mine. He bought it off somebody else who claimed to have done a sort of full rebuild on the engine. Like most of those things, yeah, people's definitions of rebuilds are different than mine. I've owned enough British bikes to know that when someone tells you that the bottom end's been fully rebuilt, it hasn't. And if you've got the engine like this one is, that only you can see it with the barrel and header off, you might as well just strip it down, clean everything out, and then start afresh, and then be sure of what you've got. So that's what we're going to do. This is going to be my project over the winter. And hopefully when we get to March, April, May time, we'll have a running BSA 250. Bit of history on the Starfire. It was one of those bikes that was brought in for the UK 250 learner law. Back in the 60s, learners in the UK were basically able to climb onto any kind of motorcycle you could get, and with L plates, learner permit in the USA, and ride off. So the government, in their wisdom, created the thing called the 250 law. So a learner couldn't ride anything bigger than 250 cc's. This particular model, I believe, was the highest horsepower 250 available at the time. It makes on paper 25 horsepower, which is actually 2 horsepower more than the Royal Enfield Himalayan that I'm sitting on, which makes 23, and it's a 400. So it's a fairly peaky, revvy machine, which is why you've got to have the bottom end right. So anyway, that's the start. We'll walk through and have a look at a few items, and that'll be it for starters. All right, let's look at some stuff. Okay, so we're going to look at the piston. I don't want you to see the piston here, but it seized up a little on the guy that was riding it. There's some really bad score marks here on the side, and on this side as well. For a bottom end that's been rebuilt, the conrod does wiggle side to side, which makes me really feel like the main bearings are a little bit, well, the big end bearings are gone. It's ball bearings in the cases on the crank, but the fact that I can rock, and let's look at it from this side, there's a little, see that? Little bit of rock side to side, and that's on the conrod. I know I've got the piston moving, but that tells me that the big ends are toast. So I've got to strip this bugger down, which is just a pain, but we should do it. Right, so I've got the piston off the conrod, and that's not good. So this thing has to come apart. There's no up and down. That isn't lateral play, that's just rocking. So the big ends are totally knackered. I hope it hasn't knackered the crank, because that would be a bummer. And also expensive. So there we go, that's the analysis. How did I get the piston off? I should have done a video of that. I've got an old hairdryer, and I placed that and let that run for about 20-30 minutes on high, heat the piston right up, and then using a socket that was slightly smaller than the gudgeon pin, pushed the gudgeon pin out. So I should have shared that, but I didn't. I'm sorry. I'll do that next time. Gas tack on these things was made out of fiberglass, and as you can see, it's not in bad nick. It's got some crazing here. I was thinking about putting an alloy tank on it, but they're a lot of money. So I think what we're going to end up doing is lining it. I've ordered some Caswell's tank seal, so that's a project. Here's a box of all the other stuff that came with the bike. The head looks pretty good. You pull that out and look at it. It's got the O-ring, it's got the thermal block. It's sat in what looks like kitty litter, but it doesn't look too bad. The surfaces look good, which is the main thing. So that's key. Looking at the barrel, or the cylinder, there's some slight scuffing at the bottom. If you look, you can just sort of see it there. This, I believe, did 30 miles on this bore, so most of the damage is on the piston. I am going to try and get away with using just a new piston on this. I don't think that I need to get it rebored or any of that kind of stuff. There's some other parts to come with it, like this. Hopefully that's all the nuts, bolts and washers. We'll see. New head gasket, which looks good, which is copper. So that's good. And then the old head gasket. I've got a 76 T140, and I've had the head off it a couple of times, and copper head gaskets you can reuse. So I'm curious, just curious. Where's the barrel? Let's just have a quick look and make sure that the oil holes line up, because they do. See, that I may get away with annealing. Just get it hot, cherry red, and then bolt it down. That could be it. That could be all it needs. Anyway, we'll see. So there's a bag of bits. Here's the bike, and wish me luck. Talk to you more next time.